Life will always be lifing. There will always be something that we're growing through in our lives. And sometimes these phases can become so challenging, and our mind can bombard us with so much doubt and just this worrying about what's to come, about the unknown, about the uncertainty. Maybe you have a lot of things that you have to get solved and you have no idea where to start. And I feel like in these phases of our lives, we just feel like helpless. We feel like, what do we do? How do you move forward? What is it that you need to practice during these phases of your life? Because this isn't just going to happen once in your life. This is going to continue to happen. There's going to be multiple challenging times in your life, because that's a part of life. That's a part of how we grow. That's a part of how we move to our next level. That's a part of how we evolve our souls. So what is it that you practice during these moments so that you can gain your faith back, your strength back, and not be pulled into this whole wave of anxiety and doubt? My name is Oniara. Welcome to my channel. I love to talk about personal development and share my own personal development path and help you become a better version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching today. If you relate to anything in this video, please remember to subscribe for more content like this and give it a thumbs up so others can see this video. So what is the thing that you have to do when you're going through these phases in your life? The first thing you want to do is acknowledge that you're here. Is acknowledge that you are in a point in your life right now where you are feeling like doubtful, where you're feeling like you don't even know where to pull faith from, where you're feeling confused, where you're feeling anxiety, where you're feeling like literally there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to find the strength to have the faith because there's so much doubt. There's so much anxiety in your mind that's running all these crazy thoughts and all these crazy things that you have to get done and you have to get solved. So the first thing you want to do is acknowledge that you're here. It's important to acknowledge that we're here because a lot of you think that just because you know that you're here, like just because you know that you're in this phase, that's enough. What I mean when I say acknowledge is like sit with yourself very presently. I really invite you to do this in front of the mirror, looking at yourself in the eyes, and sit with yourself. If you can't do that right now, maybe grab a journal and sit with yourself and write what you're feeling. Acknowledge what you're feeling. If you're in the mirror, look at yourself and say how you're feeling in the moment. I'm consumed by worry. I just don't know what's gonna happen, how I'm gonna get this solved, how I'm gonna be able to get this completed. Whatever it is that's worrying your mind and creating all the doubt, say it out loud so that you can acknowledge it, because this is normal. It's a part of our human experience. It's a part of our human experience to feel these very low parts of the roller coaster, as much as it is a part of the process to experience those very high moments of the roller coaster. So it's important to acknowledge what you're feeling so that you're able to create the right affirmations and prayers to bring you back to faith, to bring you back to that connection to God, to bring you back to knowing, to that certainty that even if you don't know what's going to happen, what you do know is that you'll be taken care of. What you do know is that God will provide for you. And the thing is, like, why it's important to acknowledge these fears and these doubts is because when you're in these points of your life, when you're in these challenging moments of your life, the first thing I know a lot of people do is go pray to God to better their situation. Go pray to God for solutions. And this is great, talking to God and asking for God, because God is our provider. God is here to guide us, to protect us. The thing is that you go and you pray to God, asking him for what you want him to provide for you, asking for what you need right now in your life. And then you wake up in the morning and you continue throughout your day with the same doubts and worry, and continue to giving your energy to the same doubts and worries, making them expand and making them show you more doubts and worries. Therefore, not doing your work, therefore doubting that what you have asked God for will be provided for you. And so that's our work, and that's what we don't realize. Things are not just gonna be like that with no energy exchange. You have to put in the work and you will be given back to it. Because if the work that you're putting in is to feed those those thoughts, is to feed those fears, those doubts, then that would expand, and that will show up in your life, because it's like you're not giving opportunity to the surrender, to trust that God will provide for you, that God will show up, that God will find you a way, and it might not necessarily be the way that you think it is. And that's why we need to learn to surrender during these phases of our life. Because these very difficult phases of our lives, as much as they're so painful to go through, as much as you want to move from here in this moment and just want to run through the other side to the finish line, realize that these moments will escalate you to your next level. They will push you to take action towards a next level of your life, towards your next potential. Okay, so hang on there. You got this. Like, this is not the first time you go through something that's hard. And if it is, here I am to let you know, I've gone through a lot of hard shit and I'm still here. You can too. You can do this too. And I know that at first is a lot of work to turn those doubts into faith, to turn those doubts and fears into trusting God. And again, that's our work. It's not easy. It's not easy, but you have to take the responsibility to sit with yourself, to acknowledge what you're feeling, and then come up with the affirmations and the prayers that you are going to say to yourself every single day when these doubts, when these fears pop up, so you can reaffirm yourself, bring yourself back to trust, bring yourself back to the connection to God, and therefore shift your vibration. When you are vibrating in that doubt and that fear and that chaos, you will continue to attract that. It's a low vibrational form. When you do the work to transmute these low vibrational energies into high vibrational energies like gratitude, like faith, because at the end of the day, faith and worry, it's believing in something that you cannot see. And so why feed the negative side? Why feed that worry, those doubts? Acknowledge them, notice them, see yourself. It's okay to have these doubts. It's okay to have these fears. It's normal to have these fears in this human experience. And I know that I can be better. And I know that God is going to take care of me. And I know that in these moments, God is guiding me to my highest potential, that even though right now it might be very painful, even though right now it might be very challenging to move through these moments, even though it might be very challenging to realize what action am I supposed to take, where am I supposed to go, because there's no answer, there's no real tangible action that you feel like you have clarity on taking, then you go on and doubting God. No. That our work is that in those moments when you have no idea what to do, when you have no idea how to move forward, when what you need is clarity, when what you need is to move forward from where you are, our work is to move and transmute those fears and those doubts that we don't know where we're going into trusting that we are guided, even if we can't see where we're going. To trusting that even if right now we can't see a solution, we can't see any opportunities, any doors opening, we trust that they will open, that the opportunities will appear. That is our work, to shift ourselves from that worry, from that doubt, doubting God, doubting our provider, doubting our source, your source, that He will provide for you what you have asked for. So God will put in the work to provide for you, but you have to put in the work to provide for yourself what is in alignment with you in this moment. And that comes with shifting your energy to what's in alignment with at the moment. Worry and doubt is when we disconnect. It's like we can never truly disconnect from our source, because we can never really be disconnected from God, because that's our source. That's where we come from. But when we feed fear and doubt, it's like we create this wall between God and us. And even if He's trying to show us like a new opportunity, a new way, because we're blocking ourselves in believing that this is the only way that this should show up, because again, we're feeding the fear and the doubt, and the fear and the doubt like to expand the fact that there's like only one way out, and that way might not even be possible for you. So when you start feeding that narrative, when you start feeding that story, you block the miracles that God might have for you in ways that you had not imagined, in ways that you had not imagined that those were solutions, because that had not crossed your path, because it's so crowded and it's so like resistant to the change, and those ideas don't come into mind because you're not allowing yourself to surrender those feelings that you're currently having to God and reprogram yourself to come back to faith, to come back to trust, because that's the spiritual work. So how do you take your power back during these moments of your life? And I want to be clear. This taking your power back does not mean that this is going to remove the pain of these moments, the pain of maybe leaving your old life behind and stepping into a new life. Doing these steps is not going to remove the pain. Pain is inevitable in life. You will experience pain, but suffering is a choice. What this will help you with is the suffering. You don't have to stay suffering in this process for the rest of your life, or for a year, or for months. Okay, you can move from this. You can take action and move from this and choose to move from this. So how do you do that? As I said, step number 1, acknowledge what you're feeling. Step in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, say out loud how you're feeling. Those fears, those doubts that are coming into your head, those problems that keep circling your head, say them out loud. You can't look yourself in the mirror right now? Go and try to journal. Write down everything you're feeling, all the doubts, all the fears that you're feeling. Step number 2, acknowledge them. Say to yourself, I see you. It's normal for you to be feeling these doubts. You're not weird. You're not abnormal. This is normal. This is a normal part of the human experience. Humans have these emotions, these doubts, these fears. Once you've acknowledged these fears and these doubts, give them to God. Surrender them to God. You may say, God, I surrender this anxiety to you. I surrender this fear, this doubt that I'm not going to know how to figure it out, that I don't know what to do. I surrender this confusion. And just surrender all those feelings. Acknowledge them. Know that it's normal to have these emotions, and surrender them to your God. Surrender them to Source. You want to look at your fears and your doubts because those are your fears and your doubts. And when you are able to see them or hear them out loud, like actually sit with yourself in clarity and presence and hear yourself, see yourself, acknowledge yourself, and then move on to step number 3, reprogram your mind. Write down affirmations, prayers that are going to reprogram and reaffirm you that you are on the right path, that God will show you the way, that God will guide you, that you will see the light, that you will know what to do and when to do it and how to continue moving forward. Doors will open for you. Doors that you didn't even know were about to open. Opportunities that you had no idea were on the way. Those will be there for you. And that your work is this one, the work that you're currently doing, sitting with yourself, acknowledging yourself, loving and accepting yourself, and moving and walking with God without doubting Him. And again, just a reminder, doubt and fear are completely normal human experiences. We all experience them as humans. And so our job is to shift from that low vibrational emotion to high vibrational emotions. Process these emotions and transmute them to high vibrational, because we are high vibrational beings, and our spiritual work is to stay connected to God, is to stay connected to that trust, to that certainty, to that knowing deep inside that we are taken care of. And life will never stop lifing. There will always be challenges and things that we're growing through in our lives. And what we do get better at is that trust, is that knowing that even though we're here, we know we're going to get out. Even though we're here, we know we'll find a way. Even though we're here, we know God will show us. Even though we're here, we know God will provide, as He always does. And that's our work. So I hope this helped you today. I hope you remember to keep feeding that trust, because as I mentioned, trust, faith, and worry are the same thing. It's believing in something that you can't see. And so might as well just give your energy to something that's going to empower you and bring miracles to your life. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.